Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie, and I have some last minute, easy 4th of July DIYs for you. But first, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll be able to see all of my videos, and a thumbs up is always appreciated. Okay, so my goal here is quick, easy 4th of July projects for your 4th of July party that you can do in under 5 minutes. So I found this great Celebrate Summer little planter at Dollar Tree the other day, and I am just going to put some red and blue flowers from the Dollar Tree in there. I'm going to use some of this is that soft green floral foam from the Dollar Tree. So $1 for my pot, $1 for my foam, and I have a couple of the red and blue flowers, and I'm just going for red and blue. I don't care what kind they are. These were the red carnations, and I'm just using my little floral scissors from the Dollar Tree to cut them apart so that I can arrange them. And I'm just kind of going all over, a little bit symmetrical. And these blue ones are actually lilacs, but they are blue. And I am going to cut some of those. And basically all I want to do here is alternate red and blue and fill it up. So the lilacs were kind of nice because they had some height. These are nice because they have some leaves on them as well. And I really only needed a couple to fill this thing up, and it's so cute. If you can't find the little Celebrate Summer, I think they usually have plain ones or the ones that you can just use fingernail polish to take the paint off, and you can do your own thing. You can even use Cricut vinyl. Okay, this is a pool noodle, and I have 3 scarves from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to make some super quick, easy pool noodle fireworks. So I'm just using 1 pool noodle. And I cut the first one the length of the scarf because that will be my biggest one. And then I'm just cutting that one a little smaller, and I'm cutting the third one just a little bit smaller, and I'm just using a kitchen serrated knife. Now the big one I want to cover with this fun fireworks scarf from the Dollar Tree. And I am just kind of cutting that to size, measuring how big it needs to be and how much fabric I need. And I just trim that down, and all I'm going to do is hot glue this to the fun noodle, and the hot glue on that fun noodle does melt it, FYI, but if you're quick and you can't really tell underneath the fabric, and so this was a great way to do it, to cover it with the fabric. That way you don't have to paint it or anything, and it's way faster. Now it just needs the little, what is that called? The wick on the end of the firework. And so I'm going to use some of this decorative rope from the Dollar Tree, cut off a piece, tie a knot. And I am just hot gluing that in the hole, a little off frame there. Sorry about that. And we have our first firework done. Now this is another size, and this is a fun scarf from the Dollar Tree. It's like a farmhouse. It's very decorative. It's very red, white, and blue too, so I think it will go with it. And I am just measuring how much fabric I need and trimming that down to size. I glued it to the fabric first that time to see if it wouldn't melt the foam, but it still did, but it's okay. Nobody knows. And I got that one done, and same thing, I'm just going to tie a little knot of that decorative rope from the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to hot glue that. I just can't seem to do that in frame, can I? Into the top of that firework. And here is the last one. Now this one was kind of busy, so I thought I would just use the sides, which was the blue with the stars. And I'll just have to use more than one piece. But this is my smallest one, and so I didn't need very much fabric. So 2 pieces for sure. And I'm just trimming that down, both pieces. And I am going to hot glue both ends, wrap that around, halfway around. Just doing some trimming, and same thing on this one. to cover up the rest of the fun noodle. And just trim any excess fabric. I did think about covering the tops of them with something so that you couldn't see the foam in there, but I'm trying to do those 5-minute projects, so I was like, nope, no time for that. I almost got that one in frame. So there is our 3 fireworks, and I just want to kind of gather those together, and then I thought it would be fun just to tie the 3 fireworks together with some more of that nautical rope. So I am just kind of adjusting it, see how I like it, and I'm actually just going to wrap it around a couple of times until I'm happy with it. And then I am just going to simply tie them together. And that project is done. It's so cute and so easy. And let's see, $1 for the fun noodle, $1.50 for the scarves. Now, this is a bag that I picked up at Dollar Tree. It says Stars, Stripes, and Summer Nights. And I thought it would be a really fun sign. And it could be an outdoor sign too, because it's made out of this plastic fabric for the bag. And so I am just cutting out that fun design. And I want to use that and some of those paint sticks for 5 gallons that I picked up really cheap at Walmart. So I'm just cutting around, and I am going to make a frame out of those paint sticks. Now, there wasn't a lot of room on the top and the bottom there with the words, and so I do realize that I'm going to have to do the frame like underneath because I want you to still be able to read it. So I'm just kind of measuring how big this sign's going to be and marking off where I need to cut those paint sticks. And I ended up only needing 3 of the 5-gallon paint sticks. And all I did was cut them to size. And I'm giving them a quick sand. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just need them to be kind of the right size. And I am just measuring to make sure that they fit. And I'm not doing any miter corners or anything like that. Just super simple. And I was going to attach this with hot glue, and I did test it on the side of the bag, and it melted the fabric immediately. So no hot glue on these bags. So I am just using wood glue, since I'm gluing on wood, from the Dollar Tree to attach the frame to the back of our sign. I'm trying not to use too much, so I kind of put them together and use that glue from one to glue the other. And there we go. We got those glued on. Now, I was thinking for a little bit more stability, I'm going to go in and just use my stapler and staple those just on the corners just to help join it together to give it a little bit more structure. And here I'm just trimming off any excess fabric from the sides. I don't want anything overhanging. And then I thought it needed a little something. So I got this blue gingham ribbon at the Dollar Tree today, and I thought it matched perfect. And so I'm just cutting out a little ribbon frame for the front, just to give it a little pizzazz. And since I know that I can't hot glue this on like I would like to with my quick 5-minute craft, right? I'm going to use some of that fabric adhesive from the Dollar Tree since I'm attaching a fabric ribbon and see if that will work. Because I definitely don't want to melt our sign. And the wood glue for the back and the fabric glue for the front both work great. It's just that it wasn't as fast as the hot glue for drying time. So it did take a few minutes for these to dry. And I'm really glad I attached the ribbon. I think that gave it a really fun touch to this sign. And all we have left to do on this easy 4th of July sign is to add a hanger. And I'm just going to cut a piece of that jute twine from the Dollar Tree. And I am just going to hot glue that to the back. The sign is really light. and it's not heavy at all. And I think hot glue and twine is going to hold it up just fine. There we go. We have our sign. Okay, so these are some of those pinwheels from the Dollar Tree, the Dollar Spot at Target. And they're cute and patriotic, and I thought I would just put them in something. I'm going to use this white picture. I thought white would be good because it would hide what was inside, and it's nice and tall. And then I'm just trying to find one of these decals from the Dollar Tree in the firework pattern that would fit on there that's not too big, and just attach that to the front of the picture. And then I am just going to put a scrap piece of foam in there, something that I can hold little pinwheels with. And these are great quality for $1. They have nice, strong wood sticks. And I just put them in there, like one a little higher than the other. And super fun, easy decoration. And if you have it outside, you know, the wind's going to make them spin too, so that's super fun. I have some of these paper pennants left over from another project from the Dollar Tree. And I want something to cover up the foam in there, and I want something fun and festive. So I thought it would be fun just to cut up this red and white and blue and white star patterns just randomly, and then I am just folding them like an accordion and then letting them go. So it kind of looks like that shredded, you know, paper that you have packaging for. And that actually worked really well. So I just kept cutting and folding those and dropping those in there until the pitcher was like most of the way full. You don't have to use a pitcher. You could always use a vase, pot, whatever you have. These were pretty tall little spinners, so I really needed the height of the pitcher, and I think it turned out super cool. Okay, now this is one of those hanging shelf things from the Dollar Tree, and I want to convert it into a sign. I think it would be an easy conversion to make it into a sign. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on with all these strings. Like they like alternate one side to the other. And then I'm like, oh, well, I'll just tie it and knot. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Like, that's way too much string. I'll just remove one string and then use that to hang the hanger. But the thing is, I like the knots to be on the front of the sign. That way it'll sit flat against my wall. So I just kind of reverse the way it is and pop that through and tie a knot. And we have a sign. How easy is that? So cute. And the wood's really nice too, so you don't have to do anything to it. And I'm just going to use this long Happy Independence Day window cling to decorate our sign. And I am just going to use some of this Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree and a foam brush to attach that window cling to our wood sign. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it and making sure it is good and down. I'm going to use my little brayer. And I don't want any bubbles or anything like that. And then I'm just going to go in on top of the window cling and do some more Mod Podge. Mod Podge and window decals are a great way to decorate things for the holidays if you don't have a Cricut or something like that. And even if you do, like I do, it's super easy and fast. I want to cover up those holes on the bottom, so I'm just going to Mod Podge on some of the little stars from the decal. And then I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'll give it some fireworks here too on the sides. I have a little bit of room. And there we have it. I'm just going to Mod Podge on top of those extra little decals that I added to the sides. And give it a good coat all over of the Mod Podge. And then this heat gun is awesome. It will speed it up really fast. And we have a Happy Independence Day sign. It's the first time I've worked with one of those shelves. I've picked up those shelves a couple months ago, and I kind of had in my mind that I would make a sign out of it, and it worked great. Okay, so this is a little sign from the Dollar Tree, a 4th of July sign, and I have one of the little red truck garden stakes from the Dollar Tree, and I have a plan to actually just change this little 4th of July sign into a tray. So I'm going to use the little Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to glue them onto one side. And I need 2 for height, so I'm gluing 2 together. And then the other side of the tray, I'm going to have the little red truck. Well, the little red truck has wheels, so that's why I need the legs on the back to make my tray level. And that tray is great because it's made out of that fun blue. I don't need to paint it or do anything, so it is a super 5-minute craft. And I am just trying to get that yardstick off the back of that metal stake. This one kind of fought me a little bit. I had to get out the pliers here. And I got that all off. And it has a couple tabs on the bottom, but I'm actually going to use those, so I leave those tabs on there. And that is how I'm going to attach it to our tray. Now, since it's metal and hot glue don't do great together, so I'm using a combination of E6000 and hot glue and trying to glue that onto the front. And the first try, I really did not get very good absorption. I don't know if it wasn't very flat and it didn't get good contact, but I'm going back in with some more hot glue, and that does the trick. And my plan for this tray is to make it a super functional tray if you're having an outdoor 4th of July party. Everybody likes to have extra bug spray and sunscreen, and that is what I'm going to use my little tray for. I'm just going to fill it up with bug spray and sunscreen, and super cute. It's also the exact right size for the 4th of July napkins from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so I have some of these wood chunky stars from the Dollar Tree, and I have some of these pennants from the Dollar Tree. I like these pennants because they are actually made out of fabric and not any of the foil, the cheap stuff. And so I thought they'd be perfect to use to put on these raw wood chunky stars. And so I'm just using a marker and tracing out that star shape so I know where to cut the fabric out. And I am just going to simply attach that fabric to the front of the wood stars to decorate them, in easy peasy, no painting or anything. Super fast 5-minute craft. And so I am just cutting that out with my scissors that are a little rounded around the edges. And I'll have 1 stripes and 1 stars. And I think those will be cute little shelf sitters just to sit around. And I really like the fabric these are made out of. They're actually really nice. So that will be my stripe star. And I'm just going to attach that with hot glue. Super easy. I could have also used Mod Podge, but again, I was in a hurry. And this star, I had actually tried to sublimate on it, and it was a fail. So it's a perfect opportunity to hide that mess with some fabric. And we have our little block stars. The only other thing I want to do is to go in there and rough them up a little with some sandpaper. And that made the fabric kind of fray along the edges, and it made them look very rustic, and I kind of like that effect. Okay, we're done with that project. Final reveal time. We have our star stripes and Summer Nights sign that turned out great. We have our little Happy Independence Day sign that I made out of that shelf from the Dollar Tree. That was so easy, and look how nice it looks. And we have our pinwheels from the dollar spot at Target. They were $1 each. And just a picture that I had, I decorated that with a firework decal and filled it up with some fun paper. And here is our fun noodle of fireworks. Those were so much fun. I just used the scarf to cover them, and I love how they turned out. Here's our little functional little red truck tray filled with sunblock and bug spray, and our little Celebrate Summer with some red and blue assorted flowers in there. So cute. And then our little chunky stars with the fabric on the front. And those are all of our, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Was there 7? Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 projects. All easy projects, all under 5 minutes. I hope you liked these 4th of July ideas for your next party. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, bye.